Welcome to the Hold to Talk podcast with your host, Juliet.
And Abby. And today we're talking about a topic that Juliet really doesn't want to talk about and has been really anti talking about this particular topic. You didn't think I was going to come out and say that, did you? But I did.
I'm hoping that you'll all back me in the comments being like, yeah, this was boring, babes.
It is boring. And so we're talking today about being an immigrant. I'm going to start with how I didn't consider when I moved to Portugal that I would always be an immigrant, if that makes sense. So I don't think it doesn't really matter what length of time I live in Portugal. I would always be, I'm always not a native, am I? I'm not Portuguese. Even if I got a citizenship here eventually, I still won't be Portuguese. But at the same time, when I go back to the UK, I don't feel like I necessarily fit in there either anymore, because you've grown, you've had these experiences, things have happened, you've done other things outside of, say, living in the UK and living outside London. Like, it feels like you've grown up, but maybe things around you haven't grown up, and you kind of step back in time a little bit when you go back. It must be different for you because you haven't actually gone back yet. So I don't know if you can actually relate to that exact thing. But do you know what I mean when I say, like, you'll always be an immigrant? How is that going to feel? And I think it's an extension to, like, my kids. I didn't really consider that my kids will never, I guess, feel like they really fit in, because they don't really fit in. They're not Portuguese. They may well eventually have a passport one day, but they'll never be Portuguese. So they'll always be an immigrant. And then in the UK, they're not going to be British really either, because they didn't grow up in England. My twins have lived longer in Portugal than they have in the UK. Thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, I do feel like I'll probably always be the British one, or like a foreigner, no matter how long that I live here. Belonging does come from, like, daily life, like friendships, routines, hoods, and stuff like that. And obviously the US speaks the exact same language as the UK. So that helps, I guess.
Yeah.
But I still am not a local. And I still, every single time I go to a grocery store, even though I've lived here like 21 months, I still get told that my accent's lovely. Or, like, those little things just remind you that, like, I'm living my day-to-day life and I think, oh yeah, like, I'm basically American. I don't think that in my head, but you are living your day-to-day life. So you think that you're one of them. But then as soon as you go somewhere and someone says that, and they're doing it to be such a nice, but you instantly again get that feeling of just like, I forgot for a second, they don't see me as one of them.
I think as well, like, for, like, your point to, like, I think the language is a huge thing, obviously. So it's very obvious that I'm not Portuguese because I'm not speaking Portuguese. And if I do try it, I'm not speaking it very well. I don't sound like a local. I'm told that my kids, when they speak it, sound like they are Portuguese, because they've obviously picked up the language by not learning it, but hearing it and having it in school and stuff. So, for example, what you said there, I would never walk in somewhere and someone tell me my accent's lovely, because that isn't really a thing. It's very different. That's quite a nice comment. That's the compliment. I don't get those compliments. I would go out, and if I'm speaking English in a place where they think I should be speaking Portuguese, it's a very different reception.
I do like having that compliment. Obviously, where we're from in the UK, like, our accent isn't actually seen as that desirable. And so when you come here and really they just hear you as a British person, I've really liked that, because it's made me feel like I'm not, like, discriminated against by my accent. I'm just seen as a British person with a nice accent. Whereas obviously in America, they might be discriminating against, other people's accents depending on where they live in the US. I won't get that. I'll just get, you've got a really nice accent, which is really nice. It is a reminder that you're not one of them. And also, I think this is another topic that's kind of related, but living abroad, it often creates, like, this hybrid identity. Like, I'm part British and I'm part American, even though I'm definitely not part of American. And I haven't lived here for even 2 years yet. In the small amount of time in the grand scheme of my life that I've lived in America, I do feel like I am becoming part American, just based on, like, things I like or what I say or what I eat. It starts to infiltrate into your day-to-day life, so that you're kind of between worlds and you're just choosing what to adopt from your new country and what to keep from your home country, which is really, it's really nice. I can drop that I didn't like, I didn't like British food. So I've dropped that off. And I've picked up some new foods from the US.
Like British foods?
We've spoken about this on another podcast. I'm not going through it again.
What about beans?
No.
All right,
No.
fine. But you like custard.
I go out. I haven't eaten custard since I've lived here. America, they love ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream's good. But custard is just custard.
I like custard. I don't miss it. I'm not dying for custard. I think you're definitely more British food lover than I am. I've never really liked it that much.
No. I think it is so different when you move to a country that isn't English speaking. Because I necessarily think that certainly in the school that we sent our kids to, that the Portuguese have been particularly open to being friends with the immigrants and the expats. So we've had to then make our own friendships with other expats because you're all in the same boat. And that's kind of how it's been. So in terms of like integrating, I think it's a lot harder, obviously, if you don't speak fluent Portuguese. But even my friends who are Brazilian that speak fluent Portuguese have also found that the Portuguese aren't actually, they're a bit of a harder nut to crack, I think. And we've got a few people that we know that are Portuguese. They come from Lisbon and they've moved to the Algarve. So I think for them as well, they don't have that many friends here. So they're in a similar situation, but they are actually Portuguese. And so in terms of like people that are from the Algarve that have lived here, I don't think they're as open. So we will always be the annoying immigrants that came. What things in terms of how you are do you think has changed since you've lived in America? Like, what did you say earlier about arguing? Do you argue the same?
I don't really argue.
What with Ollie?
Like, we bicker.
Do you think it's different since you've lived in the UK?
What, the bickering?
Yeah, like do you bicker different? You bicker about different stuff.
He bickers differently, actually. I'm the same. I think he bickers differently. He's much more... Honestly, I feel like he's gone a bit Bostonian on me.
What do you mean? Are Bostonians not aggressive when they argue?
No, they're not aggressive, but when he bickers, he can be like a bit dismissive. But he's not in a proper argument. Like if I was really upset about it, he wouldn't dismiss me. But if I'm complaining about a mess or something like that, like he's all dismissive. Whereas like in the UK, he would be much more like softer. It's all right. I don't mind it. I just do think that moving here, he's being around Bostonian nature. Like his parents say that he's swearing a bit more, which is like definitely Bostonian. But I think...
Does he speak different? Sometimes I think you change some words you say sounding more American than British.
I just can't relate with that.
You 100% do. I'm literally, when I watch your TikTok, I'm like, has she actually said that word like that? When I came over, you were doing things like, wow, because
I
it was
told you
easier to say that. Because it was easy to say, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I don't use water with English people.
In serious, no. But like
I do, Ollie does do a lot of for sure. He'll say for sure all the time. Like, yeah, for sure. Or I hear you. That'll be talking. I did actually a TikTok post on it before, and I was like, it's really like bugging me out, like the I hear you thing about everything. Like, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I'm like, no, you don't.
What's that? You would say it mid-sentence.
You'd be like, you could do it like in a more casual way and in an emotional way. So I could be like, oh, I hate. I don't know, this is a really random thing, but I hate this top. But like, oh, I hear you. Like I hear you. Like I agree. Yeah, but I hear you can also be done like this happened at work and it was really stressful, or I'm really upset with this person, and he'll be like, I hear you.
Because like I've done therapy with Mike before, and we've had to do an exercise where we'd sit next to each other and then we'd have to say to one another, oh, you really upset me, or I felt like this when you did this action made me feel like this. And then the only thing the other one could respond to was, I hear you.
Yeah, it probably is therapy speech. I don't know. But it's a very American thing. He definitely has more general wordings that he uses on a day-to-day basis that are American, I think, than me. I think maybe I switch words, but I'm doing it on purpose. I purposely switch them so that it's easier for me. Can I go to the bathroom, or do you know where the bathroom is? Like, we don't say bathroom in the UK.
No, I'll say restroom.
Yeah, but if I was back home in England, I'd just say, do you know where the toilet is? I would just switch back.
I think it's not even necessarily words I'm talking about. Like, I'm thinking it's like the way, the twang.
No, I don't think I have a twang.
Yeah, sometimes. Like when you're talking to me now, because I think you go back to being how you always were. But definitely sometimes on your TikToks, I think you are. Whereas you could not say, I sound Portuguese when I'm speaking. Not really, do you know what I mean? Whereas that would be different. When I moved to the States, my friend was from Liverpool and I just started having a Scouse accent. I think it's because I'm a chameleon and just copy you sitting in front of me.
You can integrate and adopt local customs while still keeping your original identity. I don't think it has to be like an either or type thing. Sometimes I like to really not play into, because I'm not faking it, but like sometimes I really go into like my British coded personality in certain circumstances, and in others, like I'm much more willing to bend and go into their customs.
I have to say, actually, since moving abroad, I've probably become more patriotic than I was in the UK. I'll give it like the example of like when we first moved here, the World Cup was on, and I was like, yes, England, England, England. Obviously, I was like that in the UK, but I think I was less caring. I organised World Cup parties at my house, and because all of our friends are from all around the world, it was really cool because everyone was really back in their own country, like Brazil and lots of different countries. I'm not going to start listing them because I've forgotten, but they all were there and obviously really supporting those. And then I was really, I want England to win, and I'm really backing England. And I feel like there's certainly some things that I would feel more patriotic about than I would if I was in the UK. I think, because I don't think in general we're very patriotic.
No.
But there's certainly some things I hear about other countries and I'm like, oh, that doesn't really happen in England.
What moments since living in Portugal have made you feel like I belong here?
Oh, good question. I think some moments when we have just the five of us on the beach, or when the sun's going down, and we've all had a really good day. Even sometimes you wake up and you're like, what should we do today? And we just go do something around, or even just sit around the pool, or we decided when we first moved to walk along the cliffs. Just those little moments where it's us and no, it doesn't feel like anyone else is around. I feel like I belonged here, I'd probably say. You?
Good question. I think so. There's like a before my TikTok and an after my TikTok, because now it kind of feels a little bit different. Before I had it, I felt it the first time when I got to go from Boston to Florida to see Dad down there. That was the first time that I felt, because it was quite soon after, I think maybe like 3 months after I moved here. And it just felt, no, I've made the right decision. I can still see my family. Everything's going to be okay. I love that it's so close to there. From home to there it'll be 9 hours. I liked having the split, the feeling of the different climates where I live in Boston and then going down to Florida and having that and just feeling so grateful. I think the biggest thing for me moving to the US, and I know that it comes across cringy because it is a little bit, but I genuinely feel it. I've never felt so grateful for my whole existence and life, my daily life, every day when I wake up, just thinking that there's so much more than I had before. And that's what makes me feel like I belong here. Obviously, since having the TikTok, it's a different type of belonging because now people know, can recognize us and recognize us around the city. And they're so happy that we showcase the city as we do. And we love it as much as we do. And it feels like a big warm hug, as you walk around, just feeling like you're one of them, even though, again, like similar to these topics that we're talking about here, I'm never going to be one of them. But they make me feel as close to that as I possibly can. Being so excited, they get so excited if we're wearing sports merch or going to a town that's very locals only, but I'm going to show it off. It just makes you feel really warm inside, that you're making their day and making them happy. I don't know, it's really random, but...
Yeah, I can see that. It is a lot different here because I don't think that as much, like the Portuguese don't really want us here. That is definitely the reality of the situation, because we push the price, the expats push the prices up of all the properties. Their cost of living is going to be higher because we can afford more. So like the houses are so much more, but their like minimum wage is so bad here. So it's difficult for them to get on the ladder for houses. So I understand the reason why they wouldn't want expats here. I do get it. And there's a lot of Americans flying over. There's a lot of Canadians. It's going crazy. And they're buying houses on Zoom. So they're not even coming to see it. And they could be up against a Portuguese person who's got their whole life savings ready to put down. And this is their second home sometimes. And then they leave it empty. Do get it. But at the same time, especially in the Algarve, it's a tourist-based area. So without it, there actually isn't an income for a lot of the Portuguese people, because a lot of it comes from the hotels, from the services and things like that around. So it isn't like a warm hug. It isn't. I mean, there's certainly some people that are really, really lovely. There's so much culture, there's so much tradition, there's so much to see. There's such beautiful buildings and beautiful streets and all of that in Portugal. It is such a beautiful country. There's so much to show and show off, but at the same time, there's this, I think, 50-50 with them actually not really wanting you there because you're making their lives a lot harder. They have to go really inland to be able to afford. It is a bit of a problem here, and it certainly was in Spain as well, which is why it's really difficult to get a visa there now.
Let me say how I have found things. So I notice things that Americans maybe have stopped noticing, or Americans don't appreciate anymore, or they've forgotten about, or like pick up on things that they haven't even picked up on themselves, and they're like, wow, like we've never seen it like that. We never looked at a place like you're looking at it, and now you make us see it differently. Like, do you ever have those moments where like you said, how beautiful it is? Like, are they all still really appreciative? There have been moments where you've noticed things that they've forgotten.
No, I think the Portuguese are really proud people, and they're really proud of their country and their traditions and their good quality food and, the stunning tiles on the buildings and the beautiful street. They're really, really proud people. So I don't think it's lost on them how stunning the country is. I think there's probably a nervousness that is going to get ruined, because you can see what's happened in other countries in Europe where the immigrants, British, Canadian, wherever they're from, have all gone into a country, like Portugal made it really easy for people to move over and gave loads of tax benefits and all of those types of things, which is great for the immigrant. It's not great for the locals because they're all moving in and houses are becoming unavailable and pushing the prices up. So I think they're worried. I think if you look in some places in Spain, for example, because it's just happened where they're making visas really difficult, actually a lot for the British, because they've come in and trashed and not been respectful of the culture. I think it's so important when you move into a country to respect the culture of that country. You're moving there, and you need to then embrace it a little bit. I think we've spoken before, and be respectful of some of the things that they do, how they like to live, how they keep their country. And I think in Spain is a good example of somewhere where, you've got a load of British people, and a lot of them, it's their second homes, and they're going there for half the year, and they're just trashing it and not being respectful on the beaches and not treating it with any kind of respect. But I think the Portuguese are rightfully concerned that could end up happening here, and may well have started. Lisbon has got an immigration problem already. So Portugal's now starting to look at changing the visas for immigrants now. So it used to be that you could live here 5 years and you could then apply for citizenship and get a Portuguese passport. Now they're looking to align it with the rest of Europe, and it will be 10 years. And then you have to do not only a language test, but you have to do a cultural test and a history test about the country, which is again aligned with other European countries. You have to do that in England, you have to do that in Spain, you have to do that in Denmark.
I think what you said there, if you are going to move to another country, and I find this really frustrating, genuinely, as an immigrant that feels very proud and happy to be here, and I feel very grateful because it is so hard to move here. It's not easy, and if you do get the opportunity, it is an opportunity, and you should understand that, because I've seen, having the platform that I have, and people's comments and like DMs, and also just in general living here and meeting people, that people move here and are not fully grateful for that, and don't have that, complain about things that, because it's not like this at home. Why have you moved here? Why move here and then constantly complain that they're not doing things like they do it at home, or you're not happy with certain laws or certain things? Like, why did you move here then? Like, I'm not saying that you have to like every single thing that they do. I'm not saying that, there's different states that have different laws and everything, so you can move around. But I just feel like if you're coming here and you're going to be ungrateful, you're going to speak down on them or anything like that, I just don't see the point of doing that. Like, you should come here and be grateful for what you've been given, when there's many people that would die to be in your position, or are still working actively very hard to be in your position, and you're taking it for granted.
Yeah, I think I had a couple of comments on my TikTok actually, because I was, for example, the way that the Portuguese drive is so different to the way that the English drive. So when you're on the motorway, for example, they will drive, I kid you not, bumper to bumper. You're like this. If you even make the slightest put your brake on, they will hit you in the back. It's really aggressive and dangerous. I wasn't it's not like I've come here and been like, moaning about the fact that they drive like that, but also just recognizing it's a huge difference, and it's quite a scary thing when you're not used to having someone drive at 120 kilometers per hour, like this tailgating you. For me, I put it on my TikTok. Is it just me, or is it like crazy that people drive like that? It's so aggressive, and I have my children in the car, and and then some of the people are like, well, if you don't like it, go home. No, it's not that I don't like the country, but I also don't like being tailgated the whole way down the motorway when I'm driving the speed limit, or I'm driving at 120 kilometers when it's 120 kilometers per hour. I hear what you're saying, and there's loads of people that are actually moaning, but also like there are cultural differences. There are differences that you notice. And I thought speaking about them makes you feel like you're not so much on your own with it. Like, is it just me, or is this a little bit scary?
That's
or is it
different
just...
though, isn't it? Like that's different. Like I get those silly comments. Honestly, I get those silly comments when I'm like, I try a food that's American. I'm like, oh, I'm not that keen on that. They're like, well, if you don't like it, go home or go and eat baked beans on toast. Yeah, you get these stupid comments when you feel like you can't even have like your own opinion. That's different to like coming here and just being really negative about
yes,
things like guns. Like all these things that like if you come here, you know what's up. Like you know what's up. So that's your decision.
Yeah.
Make that decision. Don't make it lightly, and think about what you're doing. Don't come here and moan about it 24/7. What's the point?
No, I totally agree. And I think it's really, do you know what I thought just then? Like being in the same category. So obviously there's a lot going on politically around the world with immigrants and with illegal immigrants, especially in the UK at the moment. And obviously lots happening in the States. But being in the same category as, say, like, because immigrant is an immigrant wherever it is around the world. Do you know what I mean? We're in the same category as illegal immigrants, and in the UK certainly now the word immigrant was always so negative.
I know, but actually the reason I don't use expat anymore is because I started using that when I first moved, and I was using it on my TikTok, like I'm an expat of Boston, and a lady messaged me and educated me about the fact that I'm not an expat anymore. I am an immigrant, and there's nothing wrong with me saying immigrant. And now I'm not scared to use the word immigrant because that is what I am. If you look up the term between an expat and an immigrant, I'm definitely in the immigrant category. And so I need to own that.
Someone else actually said to me I shouldn't be using expat, but expat was just something.
An immigrant is someone who moves to another country with the intention of living there long term, often permanently, usually for work, family, or safety. So that's definitely me. An expat is someone who lives outside their native country, often temporarily, using it for lifestyle or adventure. An expat can carry a sense of this isn't my permanent home. So mine is definitely, I just got my green card. Like, I'm definitely here trying to be permanent. So I need to own the fact that I'm an immigrant and I'm not an expat, and there's nothing wrong with the word immigrant.
So when like Trump says things like he's going to get rid of all the immigrants because he says those types of sentences, obviously you're not in that category, but you technically are. Do you know what I mean? You are an immigrant. Yeah. I always just envisioned immigrants being a really negative thing.
It's not. Like, you're an immigrant, actually.
I know I'm an immigrant, yeah.
I
am an immigrant. Yeah, like I can't be using expat anymore. But like it still is even shocking for me to be like, immigrant's such a controversial word.
Well, we can invite listeners to share their experience making it. What is their experience as an immigrant? Do they also feel like they are always going to be an immigrant? There could be people that have been immigrants for 20 years. Do you still feel like an immigrant?
Yeah, do you still feel kind of like you're not involved, but you are involved? But my other half, I had never really thought about it, but he's obviously Danish, and he, before we lived here, lived in England for 7 years. He hasn't lived in Denmark in years, so he's always been an immigrant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the last time he's been since he was 16, and he's 38 now.
But I wonder if, in the US, like if I want to get a citizenship, I have to go and pledge allegiance. I have to do the test and everything like that. After that, will I then feel like I'm an American, or am I still going to feel like I'm not?
Because you're always going to be you. You always going to be British. You
With
are.
American passport.
As well as a British passport.
Yeah. And my children might be American.
We'd probably just get them both. Like, I've got my kids a British and a Danish passport, because the British passport, unfortunately, now isn't worth very much compared to the Danish, where it's in Europe and it's in Scandinavia, and I can do a lot more with it.
It's going to be so weird, like raising children that, when I think about it, it's just really random. My child, if I stay here and raise them here, like, they are going to identify with being American more than I will ever identify with being American, and they will sound American probably, and it's just like
they'll say the odd word like you. We have, like I said before, we've got American friends here, and they're best friends with the twins, and every so often they say words in British, and they find it so funny because like, can I have some water? He's hanging around with Harvey and Hagen all the time. Of course he's going to start saying things like, get some water, please. It's cute. Okay, so let's play the game.
Okay, guys, we're going to play 2 lies and a truth. I'm going to say 2 lies and a truth about the US. Abby's got to guess which one's the truth, and vice versa. Abby's going to do it with Portugal. Who's going first?
You can go first, but it can't be too hard.
It's just going to be funny. He's going to.
Yeah, but is it going to be that I'm going to look really dumb here? Let's just try. I'm not dumb in real life.
Okay.
Let's go.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
So, Mount Rushmore features the faces of 4 US presidents carved by Native Americans.
Right.
The Great Lakes contain 20% of the world's fresh water. I've just been to the Great Lakes region. Just plug in Michigan. Florida is the only state that grows coffee commercially.
Gosh. I think the first one's true, isn't it? Because
you can't look up any photos, you dare. You dare look up any photos of
I haven't, but you know what I think of, which is really stupid and makes me sound really stupid? The Looney Tunes Universal ride, where they have, it's in the cartoon and they have the 4 heads. So I'm pretty sure that is 4. So I'm going to say that one's.
Is that you're looking in your phone?
I don't think Michigan. I don't think that the lakes has 20. I know. I don't think that. I know that you said that the lakes were really clear and beautiful, but I don't think. And Florida, I don't think Florida does coffee, does it? Isn't Florida an orange state? It does oranges. I've never heard of Florida roasting coffee, growing coffee. And I lived there, so I'm sure I would have known. I think the first one is the truth.
It's the Great Lakes contain 20% of the world's fresh water.
Okay, well, at least I got the Florida.
But how amazing is that?
So you wanted to plug Michigan more. Okay.
100%. I love you guys.
So what's the first one, though? That it's only 3 heads. What are the...
Let me look. Mount Rushmore has...
Because it is heads. I know it's...
Mount Rushmore has got 4 heads. So what's wrong about that?
So I was correct.
Well, hold on. I think maybe, why is this a lie?
She's a genius. Had you have said 2 truths, I would have probably said the Michigan and left Florida if I'd have got that right.
It's because it wasn't carved by Native Americans.
Oh my gosh, attention to detail.
Yeah, it wasn't carved by Native Americans.
But my Looney Tunes helped me out there. So thank you, Looney Tunes.
Do you know who the 4 presidents are, though?
Don't ask stupid questions. No, I don't. I think, no, I'm not going to try. I'm never going to attempt that.
No, guess one of them. I bet you can get one of them.
I'm doing that. No, I don't.
Come on, you don't know.
I'm sure when you tell me, I 100% will know. But I'm not playing that game. That wasn't the game.
Hey, who's the most famous president that's ever happened?
It depends which year you're talking.
You can't think of any president.
I can think of loads of presidents. Clinton, Trump, Obama.
Trump is your second choice.
Bush. Well, only because he's the president now. 1 minute. Bush. I probably got more. Washington.
Yeah.
Is he one?
George Washington is one of the 4 presidents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of even more famous than that.
Yeah, I know the one, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it.
The one that's got all the hair.
1 second.
No, don't you dare.
I literally can see him in my, like, I can see him.
He's got a beard, like.
Yes, I know exactly. He's got, yes. And it's black.
Yeah. He's a legend.
It's not Clinton. It's, do you know who's coming up? Churchill. No, that was not.
Do you know by historic fact?
Are you going to share it? Are you trying to get
the US through the American Civil War?
Oh, we're still talking about
this particular one led them through the Civil War. Yeah.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I can see Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on because that wasn't actually the.
But I did get quite a few.
No, you got one. You got one of them.
Okay, well, we're about to see if you know my fun facts about Portugal.
I won't know.
No, and then I'm going to ask you a really specific question about Portuguese history to see if you get that correct.
Well, I'm not going to know that, am I?
Okay, so here's the 2 lies and truth. Portugal gave England its afternoon tea habit. Portugal is smaller than Luxembourg, meaning it's one of Europe's tiniest countries. And Portuguese sardines are so beloved, local dishes often come with more fish than rice because rice is considered a garnish. Which one is true?
The garnish.
Straight in with the sardines.
Yeah, because I'll give you my reasonings,
Please do.
So I don't sound like an idiot. The first one was about the tea time, and I don't believe that there's no chance that Portugal gave the UK their tea time. I know they have siesta, but like
No, that's Spanish.
well, no, you know what I mean. They go. You said it in a previous podcast where they all shut up shop for the.
No, just my vets. I said just my vets. They don't do that. Just my bloody vets had the same problem today.
I still don't think they gave them the tea time. I've never heard that Portugal gave the UK their tea time. That's bizarre. If that is true, I give up my UK citizenship.
Okay, all right.
Business. I'm standing up business. One, Luxembourg, Portugal being small. You said like very
It's
small.
smaller than Luxembourg, yeah.
Just Luxembourg.
Well, meaning it's one of Europe's tiniest countries.
No, I don't think it is.
What do you think is tinier than Portugal?
Germany.
Stop talking.
I don't listen. I'm not good at geography. I'm very good at history. I'm a history buff. But no, Portugal. I don't even know what Portugal really looks like on a map. I know that Italy's the little boot thing, but
Okay, so you ready for the answer?
it's going to be wrong. Go on.
Statement number 2 is false. Portugal spans around 92,000 kilometres, whereas Luxembourg covers just 2,500, making Portugal about 35 to 36 times larger. So you were right about that. Statement number 3 was also false. While sardines are iconic in Portugal cuisine, dishes are balanced and not overwhelmed with fish. That part is just for fun.
So they gave up.
Statement number 1 is true.
Nah,
When Catherine of Braganza married Charles II in 1662, she helped popularise afternoon tea in England, a Portuguese import from its American colonies.
I still think it's
Bitch, give up your British citizenship. Let's be handing that shit over.
I stand on my green card for the rest of my life. What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so statement 2 and 3 were false, and then statement 1 was true. There's loads. When I went and I was learning the language, there's like so many countries you wouldn't expect that speak Portuguese. Portugal invaded so many countries. It was a bigger empire than you would ever expect it to be, considering it is really small.
Can I do a fun one?
Please, fun facts with
This
Julia.
one's a foodie one, and we all love food. And we know that US do very good food. So again, 2 lies and 1 truth out of these. Ready?
Okay.
Every state in the US has its own official pizza recipe.
I reckon that's true, okay.
Peanut butter was invented in America in the 1800s. The US consumes more ice cream per capita than any other country. You need to really break it down, like why.
So the first one
was every state has its own official pizza recipe.
I feel like that might be true, but maybe it's too obvious. Number 2 was the peanut butter.
Why is it too obvious?
Because I don't know, like those massive pizzas that Americans have. I lived in Orlando or Miami. I didn't see an Orlando pizza or a Florida pizza anywhere that I would say is iconic. So I'm going to say no to that. The peanut butter one, why? What was it? Peanut butter was created? I reckon it's the ice cream one.
The ice cream one is what?
Although I think the ice cream one is true.
Are you sure? What were you about to just say?
That's just a boring fact, the peanut butter one. Like, peanut butter's great, but who gives? I think...
I love peanut butter.
I love it. Great, so you do peanut butter. Like, I don't remember ever hearing like, oh my God, Americans are famous for their peanut butter. Like, peanut butter is great in America, but it's filled with loads of sugar. I do know that. Well,
yes, America definitely is known for their like everyone knows that peanut butter is added to everything.
Although I guess, yeah, because they do peanut butter jelly, so maybe it was an American. I didn't really ever pay attention to where I thought it was. I just feel like the ice cream thing is probably true, just purely for the size of the country.
So you think that ice cream, like that US consume, so they eat more ice cream per capita than any other country? You're standing on that?
Oh, now I feel like I should go for the peanut butter. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to go for ice cream.
So every state has its own official pizza is false. That you cracked me up with that because you were like, yeah, I think they all have their own recipe. I was like, have you heard of South Dakota pizza?
I did go back on my word because then I was like, actually, I don't think I've ever remembered like Massachusetts pizza.
Peanut butter was invented in America in the 1800s. It's false.
Boom.
It was, but it wasn't in America. It was in South America.
Right. Exactly.
She's got to do that again. More ice cream per capita than any other.
I believe that.
I totally believe that. We love ice cream.
Yeah. Okay, I've done one for food as well. Would you like to hear? I've not even read it yet, so let's just see.
Okay.
See if you can get this right.
Bonnie's having a low-key feature.
Hey, Oz.
So it's two lies, 1 truth.
Okay, ready? Portuguese monks invented tempura.
What, like shrimp tempura?
Well, anything tempura, yeah. Portugal's national drink is port wine. Portugal's most famous dessert, pasta de nata, was originally created by ancient Romans who had settled in Lisbon.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So one of them's a lie.
It looks a bit.
Two of them are a lie. One of them is the truth.
Oh,
I feel like the pasta nata looks Roman.
Roman?
What do you mean?
What kind of
Roman?
You know, like the dishes they used to have when they used to make them themselves. It kind of looks like that.
Like the Roman Empire stretched across like most.
Here he comes with his educational.
Yeah, I think that.
Yes, Forrest.
Like, okay, it's probably going to be a lie because no, they settled in Madrid and some bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? But is it going to be that?
Wait. What were the other two things?
Portuguese monks invented tempura, exporting the idea of deep frying vegetables to Japan, where it was later refined into the dish we know today.
Actually, Portuguese monks did go to Japan.
I feel like that might be the
That
truth.
is a real thing.
You might think it's not because it sounds so.
How would you know that?
You know, Ollie's so smart.
Well, yes, I do remember the Portuguese monks heading over there to Japan.
No,
Ollie genuinely, like, if you take Ollie to trivia, we will win.
Let's see if he does. Number 2 was Portugal's national drink is port wine, made from a sweet fortified wine produced in the Douro Valley.
I know that's not true, but
they have great port in Porto. Like, that's where the sellers are. Yeah, they do. It's amazing.
But it's not the case. It's not the case.
It's not the national
drink.
It's
not you know what?
National drink then.
Yeah. I'm getting really stuck on tempura.
I think it's.
But they went there to spread Christianity in the East.
So you don't think they brought their breadcrumbs with them?
The thing is, the Portuguese aren't
Anybody want to fry breadcrumbs?
aren't known for breadcrumbs.
Yeah, they don't put breadcrumbs on.
True.
Like, why are we deep frying stuff?
Like, if they went over there, let's be like, if they went over there to get like that recipe, that surely a lot of their food would be influenced by that, and it's not. Like, they don't deep fry their food. Everything's very fresh.
At the end of the day, we're not going to lose or win anything.
No, it's actually stressing me out.
I know, I'm really stressed.
Right, of course you are. I got mine right both times.
Yeah, we need
Juliet did not get it right, so she either has to get this right, Ollie, or I am. Well, I'm the winner anyway. Will Ollie beat me?
Okay, so I'm going to say that tempura is right.
Juliet?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, you're just going to back him because.
Of course I'm going back in.
You were going to say tempura. What was you actually going to say if Ollie wasn't sitting there?
I think I would have leaned towards tempura.
No, pasta de nata.
Absolutely not. You'd have gone for the pasta de nata.
I think I can see that they would be carrying like the breadcrumbs around.
Okay, so number 2, the Roman pastry is a lie. Although port wine is Portugal's most famous export, it's not officially the national drink. Huh?
She was asking me if I can not go to golf. No.
Number 2 is the pasta de nata. Pasta natas were actually invented in the 18th century by Portuguese monks, not Romans. So that was a lie. The truth is Portugal did not invent tempura, but they did introduce a precursor, a dish of deep fried vegetables that Japanese chefs transformed into modern tempura during the 16th century.
Your Portuguese accent is unreal.
Pesinos de rota. I don't even know if that is said right, but that was that. Good fun. I actually got it right, Ollie. I'm impressed.
I don't like people like that. That's a good fun fact. Yeah. Did all Americans know about the?
Oh my God! The actually reality is that all 3 are false.
What? They're all false.
What? At the bottom it says quick summary. This is AI for you. Quick summary. Portuguese monks invented tempura. False. They introduced a precursor. Well, I guess that kind of is. We'll say it still is.
I can't believe I sat down for this.
They're all in a false, so we're sitting there trying to work out. Ollie's got fun facts in his head, fucking trivia about it.
But it's still a precursor. So that is the end of this day's episode. Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be, Juliet?
I'm the biggest fan of this particular one. I think that's just because it's gloomy outside.
Is it? Not having a sunny day. Not today. So guys, please make sure you follow, share, like, and comment on our episodes. You can also listen to us on any streaming platform. So please make sure you check in there. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on TikTok and on YouTube. If you've been on Instagram, you'll know her lack of uploading. So please comment. We want to hear what you guys think. We've had a really great response so far, haven't we? And we've had some really lovely comments from everybody, which has been really, really lovely to see. We're really enjoying doing it, so we'd love to carry on, but we need to make sure that it's worthwhile and that we're talking about things that you guys want us to talk about.
says that we're in the top
50 to 25% of new podcasts launches.
So that's actually really exciting.
Yeah, so we're really happy with how we've kicked off, but we know we've got a way to go. Your comments are really, really welcomed. Good, bad, indifferent. We just want to hear how it's going and how you're receiving it. Yeah, cool. And if you've got any questions, please ask them if there's a topic you want to talk about, and we can do a mini episode potentially on your question, which I'm sure you will love.
Mini ep coming soon to a podcast streaming platform near you.